Like the one who was arrested over traffic offense. Say, no, I am the... All of these things do not justify that this thing is bad. One of us must still stand up to say, hey, this thing is bad, let's stop it. Today you don't find anybody to say we are doing something bad, let us stop something, that thing that we are doing that is bad, then we are in trouble. Yorubas will say, that one is bad. So we must still find somehow, somewhat, some of us who still say, hey, Ikhwa, let us stop this. Hey, Ikhwa, let us do this. Let us stop this. It is under that context that we feel it's appropriate to read a book like this. There is a very, very big difference between An-Naseehah and At-Tibyān. Unfortunately, we are claiming Manhaj Salaf, Manhaj Salaf. You are making ta'yir. Is that your ta'yir, the Manhaj of the Salaf? Manhaj Salaf, Manhaj Salaf. Manhaj Salaf. It's ta'yir, the Manhaj of Salaf. If it is not the Manhaj of Salaf, and everybody is making ta'yir, why should you be claiming Manhaj Salaf, Manhaj Salaf? You attack some people, hey, they did something contradicting Manhaj. Your ta'yir too is a contradiction of the Manhaj of Salaf regarding An-Naseehah. The most successful person in these matters amongst all of us, they are those that Allah described in the Quran. الذين يستمعون القول فيتبعون أحسنه أولئك الذين هداهم الله. Those who will hear a good sermon and take what is best from it. Like a thief was held. Why did you steal? Say, I saw somebody stealing yesterday. Police arrest somebody. Say, yes, I saw a policeman took bribe yesterday. If you tell a policeman that, what will he do to you? Police arrest a thief. The thief now say, hey, police, I saw one policeman taking bribe yesterday. Especially if they are up to 2 or 3 on you. What will the police do to that person? Huh? Before he gets to the station. Abu Aisha. Police arrest the thief. He said, oh, you took bribe yesterday. What will the police do to him? He is smiling. It's beyond explanation. So if we went 1, 2 of us do something. Someone among saying, let us not do this thing. Let's stop saying that, but everybody is doing it. Everybody is doing it does not make haram to become halal. There are a lot of examples in the time of the companions regarding things like this. I quickly remember the hadith of Abu Qatada al-Ansari and Hudayfa ibn Yaman. That hadith occurs in the books of Sunan, in Sunan Abi Dawud. A part of it occurs in Sahih al-Bukhari. That Hudayfa ibn Yaman and Abu Qatada or Abu Ayyub al-Ansari, they wanted to observe Salah at a place called Al-Madain. Al-Madain occurs in Iraq. So one of them was to lead the Salah. He wanted to lead the Salah. He climbed upon a platform. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Naha an yusalli al-Imam, he prohibited that the Imam observes a Salah upon a makanin murtafi, upon a raised platform. The Prophet prohibited it. Ikhwa, in the madhab of Al-Imam Malik rahimahullah, if a person observes Salah like that, he does not have Salah. The Imam who prays upon a platform, what we now call mimbar. Someone climbs upon something to observe Salah when the rest of the people are on the ground. He alone is on top. In the madhab of Al-Imam Malik, he has no Salah. That's also the view of Al-Imam Ibn Hazm al-Andalus. That's also the position of Al-Imam Abu Hanifa. So Abu Ayyub or Abu Qatada, one of them, Al-Ansari, with Huzayfa ibn al-Yaman, he climbed upon the platform. He did not bring him down at that. It was when he started the salah, he now dragged him back. The two of them had not remembered that, but Huzayfa remembered and he dragged him backwards. After the salah, Huzayfa said, Radiyallahu anhu, why did you go and observe salah on the platform? What did Abu Ayyub or Abu Qatada say to you? Did you not see that when you dragged me backwards, I came back? At the beginning, you should have told him, don't climb, come down, go. But when he remembered, he dragged his brother. He didn't say, but you were there when I started, he didn't drag me back. Why did he drag me when I had started the salah? So that two people are upon something. The other one remembers and say, hey, brothers, let us be careful about so and so. The other said, no, there's no need to be careful. All of us, we are doing it. So all of us should continue upon something that Allah does not like. All of us should continue upon something and then we say that it's manhaj salam, manhaj salam, manhaj salam. Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah, he said there's no blame about this ascription and Salafi and Salafi. He said the blame is that let it not be by the mouth. Let us see the reality of that your claim. Salafi, Salafi. Does Salafiyah reject that when people are on something that is negative? We say, hey, no, this thing is bad, let us stop it. But because people want to continue upon what they are doing, unfortunately that you are doing is khilafun bil manhaj. You say, no, don't worry, let's continue like that. Let's continue upon khilafun manhaj. Somebody should tell us. Somebody should remind us. Somebody should wake us up. It is from answering our dua. رَبَّنَا لَا تُؤَاخِذْنَا إِن نَّسِينَا أَوْ أَخْطَأْنَا. Maybe we are forgot. Maybe we are all making mistakes. There should be somebody who will wake up. Hey, brothers, let us look at this aspect of our claims of manhaj. What we are calling manhaj is At-Tibyān. It's not it that we don't know it. When we know it, then we start working on being careful, don't fall into it. Why? We now know that there's a difference between An-Naseehah and what? At-Tibyān. Naseehah is manhaj salaf. At-Tibyān is manhaj al-khalaf. Usually the salaf, when something contradicts their way, they say it is khalaf. So Ikhwa, we have a need to read books like this. The least benefit is that we know what is bad. It is not good that we don't know what is bad to such an extent that it is what is bad that we are calling what is good. We don't know what is bad to such an extent that what is bad, we refer to it as what? Good. That one is bad. So we all should read a book like this, whether everybody is doing it or not. There should be a reminder, hey brothers, let's not sleep off. Ibn Rajab rahimahullah wrote about the difference between An-Naseehah and what? At-Tibyān. On page 8, we had read a part of it. He said, rahimahullah, وَلَا فَرْقَ بَيْنَ قَانِفِ رُوَاتِ حُفَّاظِ الْحَدِيثِ وَلَا بَيْنَ التَّمْيِيزِ بين من تقبل روايته منهم ومن لا تقبل. There is no difference amongst the scholars, no difference between الطعن في رواة حفاظ الحديث, those who report a hadith. There is no difference between mentioning their faults. When we mention their faults, we make at-tamyiz. بين من تقبل روايته منهم ومن لا تقبل. We differentiate between those whose reports are accepted and those whose reports are not accepted. وبين تبيين خطأ من أخطأ في فهم معاني الكتاب والسنة. There is no difference between that. وبين تَبْيِينِ خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ. There is no difference between that and تَبْيِين, explaining, bringing forth خَطَئِ مَنْ أَخْطَأَ فِي فَهْمِ مَعَانِ الْكِتَابِ وَالسُّنَّةِ. There is no difference between mentioning the faults of reporters of hadith and mentioning the error when a person has erred في فهم معاني الكتاب والسنة, in his understanding of the Quran and the Sunnah. This person, وَتَأَوَّلَ شَيْئًا مِنْهَا, he is explaining the Quran, he is explaining the Sunnah, عَلَى غَيْرِ تَأْوِيلٍ, upon a meaning different from its actual meaning. وَتَمَسَّكَ بِمَا لَا يُتَمَسَّكُ بِهِ, he is teaching something that should not be stick in his explanation of the Quran and the Sunnah. There is no difference between mentioning the faults of those who are reporting hadith and mentioning that this thing this Shaykh is a mistake. There is no difference between the two. The two of them are from the aspects of what An-Naseehah. And the intention behind the two of them is not advam, I will come peace. No. It is not as if we want to just disgrace the man. That is not the intention. The reason why we are doing it is that لِيُحَذِّرَ مِنَ الْإِبْتِدَاءِ بِهِ. You want to warn against following him in that his mistake. فِيمَا أَخْطَأَ فِيهِ. You want to tell the other people, hey, don't follow that thing, it's a mistake. وَقَدْ أَجْمَعَ الْعُلَمَاءُ عَلَى جَوَابِ ذَلِكَ أَيْضًا. That we point out the mistake of somebody who makes a mistake, or that our own mistakes are pointed out when we make mistakes. أجمع العلماء على جواز ذلك. The scholars are upon a consensus that such a thing is allowed. He said, Rahimahullah, وَلِهَذَا, because of this kind of a consensus that it is allowed. Someone has a mistake, points it out. Someone has an understanding that is faulty about a hadith, points it out and brings evidence. This hadith, this understanding of this hadith is wrong. Why? For the following reasons. So that the people should not follow the mistake of a person who has made a mistake. The intention is not to disgrace. It's to show that there's a mistake and correct the mistake. It's not to disgrace, it's not to insult. He said, أجمع العلماء على جواز ذلك. The scholars have a consensus. So what is the hujjah? That when someone makes a mistake, we can point out the errors in the mistake, in whatever he has said. What is the dalil? Ijma'ul ulama. The scholars have a consensus. Rahimahullah. He said, وَلِهَذَا, because of this reason, نجد في كتبهم المصنفة في أنواع العلوم الشرعية. You will find in the books that the scholars have compiled في أنواع العلوم الشرعية, in the various branches of the sciences of the religion, من التفسير, whether in the matters regarding at-tafsir. We gave us an example in one of the classes about the verse of the Quran that the scholars explain. They say it is not applicable to the rest of the women. وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ الْحِجَابِ. They say that verse is restricted to the wives of the Prophet alone. Even though they say that that verse is the evidence that all the wives of the Prophet, radiyallahu anhum, it is compulsory for them to veil their faces. وَإِذَا سَأَلْتُمُوهُنَّ مَتَاعًا فَاسْأَلُوهُنَّ مِنْ وَرَاءِ الْحِجَابِ. They say that verse is evidence. Al-Imām al-Qurtubi and many others, they say bil ijma. That verse is evidence that all the wives of the Prophet must be veiling their faces when you see them outside. They say, but that's for the wives of the Prophet alone. Why? That verse started talking about the house of the Prophet. Alayhi salam. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu la tadkhulu buyutan nabiyyi illa an yu'dhana lakum. Don't enter the house of the Prophet except upon a permission granted to you. So the Prophet's house was the one in discussion. So they say the ruling is restricted to the house of the Prophet. We mentioned others amongst the scholars who say no, the ruling is general for all of us, even though that incident happened inside the house of the Prophet. So what is the evidence that the ruling is general? Allah said after that instruction, if you speak to them from behind the veil, it will make for a better purification of your own souls. And the purification of the souls of the wives of the prophets. So the ulama say, that our souls are purified is something that we want, we desire, whether you are a wife of the prophet or not, whether you are a companion or not. And if that will be a reason why the companions' hearts will be purified, the wives of the prophets, their hearts will be purified, how about us? So they say this verse is Ahmatun lil Muslimin. This verse is general for all the Muslims. So it can be that the error is from issues of tafsir. There are many others. I think I remember mentioning Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah having a whole book, 2 volumes. The verses of the Quran that he noticed that the scholars have made errors in their explanation. He explained it. He pointed at the errors, he gave the explanations. Rahimahullah. He says, وَشُرُوحِ الْحَدِيثِ. The mistake can be in the explanation of a hadith. I think in the previous class we also gave an example. That hadith of Ibn Mas'ud, إِنَّ أَحَدَكُمْ لَيَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ حَتَّى مَا يَكُونُ بَيْنَهُ وَبَيْنَهَا إِلَّا ذِرَاعٌ. Somebody is making the deeds of the people of Al-Jannah, coming near Al-Jannah, until it just remains what is in between the middle of his finger, the tip of his finger, and his elbow as a length, remaining a little for him to enter Al-Jannah. What was already documented for him comes in front of him. He begins to do the deeds of the people of the fire. Some of the scholars say that he was not even doing the deeds of the people of Al-Jannah in the first place. Others among the scholars say no, it is wrong. That hadith shows that يَعْمَلُ بِعَمَلِ أَهْلِ الْجَنَّةِ Hatta, that is, he was doing those deeds so much so that he got close to Al-Jannah. If the deeds were not deeds of Al-Jannah, sincerely done upon the Sunnah, it will not be bringing him close to Al-Jannah. So they faulted that explanation. So someone can make an error regarding explanation of a hadith, regarding the explanation of a verse of the Quran. Wal-fiqh. Likewise in the mazahib, in the positions we hold on issues of fiqh. Somebody may have a view and the view is a faulty view. This one is much. Many books of fiqh of the Mutakhirun, in the various madhabs, you see they have a view and there's a clear-cut hadith that says opposite of what the view says. There are many such views. Many ikhwan. Waqtilaful ulama. Likewise, the books that discuss the differences of opinion amongst scholars. وغير ذلك, and other books. You find all these books written about tafsir, books written about shuruh al-hadith, books written about fiqh, books written about ikhtilaf al-ulama, وغير ذلك, and other books. ممتلئة من المناظرات. You see those books full of munadarat, debates. No, this one is wrong. This one is right. This one is wrong. This one is right. For so reasons. وَرَدِّ أَقْوَالِ مَنْ تَضَعَّفَ أَقْوَالِ. You see them refuting and clarifying, mentioning رَدِّ أَقْوَالِ مَنْ تَضَعَّفَ أَقْوَالِ. You see them refuting and explaining, clarifying قول من تضعف قوله أو يردون على قول من تضعف قوله. They respond, they refute the statement of a person whose statement is weak. Who are those who give those refutations? من أئمة السلف والخلف. The scholars in the earlier times and the scholars in the later times, all of them are explaining this position is wrong, this position is right, this position is wrong, this one is weak, this is a weak position, this is a weak position, this is a weak position. Whether regarding a hadith or regarding a verse or regarding a position of people, you see them refuting weak statements. Those who do that are the Imām amongst the Salaf wal Khalaf, and those who came later, min as-Sahabati wa Tabi'in, amongst the companions radiyallahu anhu, and those who came after them amongst their students, wa man ba'dahum, and those who came in the later generation. Whenever they saw a mistake, they say this is a mistake, they corrected it. It's a sunnah of this ummah. We gave many examples, I think, in the last class. Somebody will say something, another companion will say, no, that position is wrong, this is the correct thing. One day I went to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said so. So this your statement is wrong, and he'll keep quiet. So the other statement is weak, this one is strong. What makes this one strong? Evidence. What makes this one weak? Absence of evidence or weak evidence. That one has always been in this ummah. He said, rahimahullah, وَلَمْ يَتْرُكْ ذَلِكَ أَحَدٌ مِنْ أَهْلِ الْعِلْمِ. No one from the people of knowledge left that. No person amongst the people of knowledge left not refuting a statement. No, they were always refuting and clarifying. Every scholar is refuting Ikhwan. Wallahi, every scholar is refuting. Unless that knowledge has not reached where it should reach. You read a statement, say, this statement is wrong. Why? But the following is, you give the hujjah, evidence, hadith, verse, regarding the mas'ala. They say, how about this? Last October, I visited a very learned person in this room, in his country. So I tried to reach him, I could not reach him. So I sent some brothers to help me arrange how I can meet him. Hafizahullah. So they said we should go and observe Salat in the masjid of his house. So when we arrived at the masjid, myself and the brothers who drove me, we arrived at the masjid. Myself and the Shaykh entered the masjid at the same time. We passed, he came. We entered the masjid at the same time. When we entered the masjid at the same time, the Jama'ah was on ruku'. I followed the hadith of Abu Bakr. I went to ruku' from the door of the masjid. And I was going, making tadbīr. We know this sunnah. You go on ruku' and you'll be walking on the ruku'. He was on a wheelchair. He just wheeled his wheelchair to the front. There is no way he can do like me. So I got the first rak'ah, he missed the first rak'ah. So when we started talking, we got to his house. We spent over 1.5 hours together. The first issue we discussed was this issue. I was asking him, because what happened was, before I got to the first row, they had already stood up from the ruku. You know, it will not be easy for me to continue to move. So I still moved one step. But before I got to the summit, they were on sujood. They stood up again for the second rak'ah. Was when I was able to join the rest of the people praying. But you know what has happened to my salah? Salatul munfarid khalf as-saff has happened to me. A person praying alone behind the saff. Do I have salah? Ikhwan, you get this one. What did I pray alone? Between the ruku and the second rak'ah, when I joined them in the saff, I was alone. So I had to ask him, is that hadith sahih? Man salla khalfa as-saff fala salata lahu. Salatul munfarid khalfa as-saff. That hadith is sahih. He said it is not sahih in his view. Hafizahullah. So I said to him that Al-Imam al-Shafi'i in Ikhtilaf al-Hadith, he grades it sahih. He kept quiet. He said he does not think that that position is correct. I just left him. I went to another issue. So when I came back, I have to start working on that hadith again. So my conviction is that that hadith is sahih. But what have I done? Have I contradicted that hadith? Do I have salah if I was making the tadbeeb, like the tadbeeb of Abi Bakr to join the salah? It's not just the hadith of Abu Bakr. There's a hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas on it. There's a hadith of Abdullah ibn Zubayr on it. They all say it is from the Sunnah. You can start the salah. You come into the masjid, we are here, first row. You can go and ruku and you start coming from the ground until you meet us in salah in the first row. Abu Bakr did it. That's companion of the Prophet Muhammad radiyallahu anhu. The point of reference here is that لم يترك أحد من أهل العلم لم يترك ذلك. Nobody from the people of knowledge abandoned correcting someone's mistake. This is a mistake, you correct it. This is a mistake, you want to correct it. Nobody left it amongst the scholars. He always corrected the mistake. وَلَدَّعَ فِيهِ طَعْنًا. And nobody claimed that that is a kind of fault finding. عَلَى مَا رَدَّ عَلَيْهِ قَوْلَهُ. Fault finding regarding the person that we have refuted his view. They did not say that, why did you refute him? Why are you finding faults? My saying that the position is wrong does not mean that I am exposing his faults. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentioned the virtue of a person's passing away in Medina. Alayhi salatu wasalam. That hadith occurs in the Sunan of Al-Imām At-Tibyān. At-Tirmidhi said the hadith is Hasanun Sahihun Gharib. Abu Muslim smiled because of the troubles in those istilahat. But the issue is that that hadith is tadalli. It's evidence about the person who passes away in Medina. And I was just asked before that, I said, God, I don't remember a hadith. Abdur-Raūf is shaking his head. I don't remember a hadith. What I remember is the fadl of being buried in Al-Baqiyah. The fadl of praying in the masjid. But that someone dies in Medina, I don't know. It doesn't mean there is no hadith. If someone finds the hadith and says this is the hadith and the hadith is sahih, that is the evidence. That is the proof for that. That's my own statement. I will wrap it and put it inside where equal. Where we like it, front pocket or side pocket. But just take that your statement back. What is right is that there's a virtue in dying inside the hadith. So that is there. And that was why Imām Malik said, Rahimahullah, مَا مِنَّا إِلَّا رَدَّ وَيُرَدُّ عَلَيْهِ. There is no one amongst us that he was talking about people of knowledge and the students of knowledge. Radda, except that you are repeating saying that something is wrong that someone said, وَيُرَدُّ عَلَيْهِ. And they are saying that you said something one day is not correct. The only person that does not have Rad and Mardud alayhi is who? Ar-Rasul alayhi salam. Nobody has Rad on the Prophet alayhi salam. Why? Yuha ilayhi. He receives revelation alayhi salam. As for you that you are not receiving al-Wahy, the Rud wa Yurad alayhi, you will refute and they will refute you. That's refutation. وَلَدَّعَ فِيهِ طَعْنًا. Nobody is saying that that reputation is insult to you because they have refuted your statement. Wala dhamman. It is not a dispraise for you. Wala naqsan. It's not an exposure of your shortcomings. You're not. No, that is not the intention. You just don't want errors to be spread. You don't want people to follow your mistake. It is Naseehah. This one is not At-Tibyān. When can it become At-Tibyān? Allahumma illa an yakuna al-musannif. Unless that person who wrote that book, or who wrote that article, or who wrote that treatise, or who gave that verbal statement, mimman yufhishu fil kalam, was from those who was bad in his statements, وَيُسِيءُ الْأَدَبَ فِي الْعِبَارَةِ, and in his expressions, asa al-adab, he was ill-mannered. He showed bad manners while he was refuting, saying that Shaykh, this thing is wrong. And then he became arrogant, began to use negative statements. That is what we see today. Our brothers are calling Manhaj Salaf. Manhaj Salaf now. In fact, when you don't even have that mistake, they have not established that there is a mistake. They are just thinking that it's a mistake because of little knowledge. They say, then they start making statements that are negative. Ibn Rajab said, Rahimahullah, Allahumma illa an yakuna al-musannif, except when you have that person who wrote that book, that refutation, or that person who wrote that piece, yufhishu fil kalam, he became indecent fil kalam, in his expressions, wa yusi'u al-adab fil ibara, and he became ill-mannered. He showed bad manners in the way he was expressing the correction. فَيُنْكَرُ عَلَيْهِ فَحَاشَتُهُ. That his indecent speech, you say, it's not good to be talking like this. It's not good to be talking like this. يُنْكَرُ عَلَيْهِ فَحَاشَتُهُ وَإِسَاءَتُهُ. And that his bad manners will correct in the heart. What you are doing, that is bad manners. دون أصل رده ومخالفته. But we will not reject the basic thing that he has corrected us in. We take the child and throw away the bath water. We take his advice, we take his Naseehah, we take his correction. إخواني there, دون أصل رده مخالفته. Without rejecting that fundamental rod that he did, because of what? That rod is Naseehah. The other side of it is that telling him that your manner is bad, your speech is bad, that one too is Naseehah for him too. But Ikhwa, you know what? Sometimes you may not mention that Sul Adam. You may not mention that Fahashatu fil kalam. Why? Because if you mention it, it will be as if you don't want to take that truth. That's why you are mentioning it. So you can keep quiet. Take the Naseehah. Change your opinion. But another time, tell him, hey, your adab was bad. Your etiquette was bad. Your speech was bad. Why? If you said it at the time that he was telling you, giving you that Naseehah, we corrected them. They say, we don't have adab. It will now look as if that's his bad manners. Is your own way of rejecting the truth that he has said to you. Is this clear? So we may not even correct it. Why? What is more important to me is that my own errors are corrected. So if he corrects his own, that's his own problem. If he does not correct it, that's his own problem. Unless I see that if I say to him, hey, come, Jazakallah khair, this is your correction, I will go back and look at it. I will study it again, inshallah. But you know what? This expression like this, don't say it to people again, fast. You don't correct somebody like this. If we can separate these two, then that's the best. So that we take his Naseehah, we also give him Naseehah. We take his Naseehah, we also give him what? Naseehah. That's why we say, Radu, ó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Radu, akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ dodo múlẹ̀ ni ó lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní. There is manner of doing it. There is a way to do it. One of them is correct, the other one is wrong. So it means the Radu that Rajab is emphasizing here is Radu with good statements. One of the scholars said that Allah said that Ud'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'izati al hasana. Leave that. It says ولا تجادلوا أهل الكتاب إلا بالتي هي أحسن إلا الذين ظلموا. Allah told you and I, لا تجادلوا أهل الكتاب. Don't go in a discussion, debate with non-Muslims, except with good speech and good belief. If you must not in our religion go into a discussion with a kafir, except with good speech and good delivery. How about your brother? How about him? How about a person of sunnah like you? Should you go into a discussion with him without being good in your speech and mannerly in your approach? Brothers, that thing you are calling manhaj salafi, Allah made you done. Ikhwa, you are Yorubas better than I am, so you know I don't talk. You be calling something manhaj salafi, manhaj. You will reach akhirah, you see that it was manhaj salaf, and you can't come back to this dunya again. Ikhwa, when you correct your brothers, if it is true that they actually have errors, please mind your expressions imanally. Mind the expressions imanally. Imanally in it. And mind your expressions. So he said, Rahimahullah, Allahumma illa an yakuna al-musannifu mimman yudhifu fil kalam. Except if that author was bad in his speech, wa yusi'u al-adaba fil ibarati. And he showed bad manners in the statements that he made. فَيُنْكَرُ عَلَيْهِ فَحَاشَتْهُ. That his bad, indecent speech will be rejected, thrown back at him. وَإِسَاءَتُهُ. His bad manners will be rejected, thrown back at him. دُونَ أَصْلِ رَدِّهِ وَمُخَالَفَتِهِ. Or will not reject that his basic truths that he has corrected us in. That is showing us that there is a difference, and the difference is the right one. We will not reject that one, we will take that one. Why? We all want to establish the hujjah in our religion. So if you find that hujjah is with him, accept the hujjah. Why? We all have a duty to establish what the hujjah. We all have a duty to establish the religion. So in establishing the religion, if I have a thinking that is wrong, I must be ready to drop that thing. If I have an explanation that is wrong, I must be ready to drop it. If you have it and I'm the one correcting you, must be ready to have it dropped. Why? إقامة للحجة الشرعية. Because we all, our job is to establish the verse of the Quran upon its correct meanings. Establish and accept the ahadith upon their correct meanings. وَالْأَدِلَّةِ الْمُعْتَبَرَةِ. Other aspects of evidencing too could be involved, like talking about ijma, like talking about qiyas, masalih, and mursal, and all of this. It may be that the evidence is from that. We all want to establish all these foundations regarding our religion. So when someone says something, they understand, yes, look at this hadith. That hadith is weak. You have a job. What is your job? Go back and research that hadith, if you are able to. But if you, for example, the learned person I spoke with, he said in his view the hadith is weak. I didn't say no, in my own view. You don't say that to someone. So I said that Imam Shafi'i has a view that the hadith is weak. And I cited the book. He was silent, as if scanning. He said the hadith is dying. I left him at that. You know why? If you argue with him further, you may not get what you want. But you're merely saying it. He has recorded it. When you go away, you will check it again. That's how scholars are. They read more than students. Equal. Àwọn apá àkàwé di àwọn tí ó lọ. Mo máa ń sọ lójoojúmọ́. Our scholars read a lot. They read a lot. You think they are just talking. They read a lot. So when you say something and you just go, you went, they go back again. They start checking. Allah, scholars read a lot. Even the students of knowledge, strong ones, they read a lot. May Allah protect all of us. Ibn Rajab rahimahullah said, so we are going to accept his Naseehah and we are going to reject his ta'yeen. وَسَبَبُ ذَلِكَ أَنَّ عُلَمَاءَ الدِّينِ. You can say كُلَّهُمْ مُجْمِعُونَ. You can say كُلُّهُمْ مُجْمِعُونَ. In Arab, the two of them are accepted. وَسَبَبُ ذَلِكَ. The reason why we will accept what he has said that is right and reject his bad manners is that أَنَّ عُلَمَاءَ الدِّينِ, that the scholars of this deen, كُلَّهُمْ, all of them, مجمعون على قصد إظهار الحق الذي بعث الله به رسوله. They all are agreed upon what? على قصد إظهار الحق. They are agreed upon the common intention, common objective, common goal. What is that goal? إظهار الحق الذي بعث الله رسوله به. We want to establish and expose, announce, propagate that truth that Allah has brought the Prophet with. Alayhi salatu wasalam. That is our concern. Every scholar of Sunnah wants Izhar Sunnah, Izhar al-Haq. So if he makes something thinking that that is the Haq, you have a duty to say, Shaykh, this is not Haq, this is evidence, this is this. His own intention is Izhar al-Haq. So what he will do is, he will quickly go back again to start checking. Where was I wrong? Where was I wrong? Where was I wrong? Where was I wrong? At the end of the day, he will go back to that view of that scholar who had called his attention to it. Why? The two of them have a basic intention. What is the basic intention? إظهار الحق الذي بعث الله به رسوله. We want to show, we want to expose, we want to propagate that truth with which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has sent the Prophet to come with. Alayhi salatu wassalam. وَلِأَنْ يَكُونَ الدِّينُ كُلُّهُ لِلَّهِ. We want the deen كُلُّهُ لِلَّهِ. We want the religion to be exactly as Allah says we should do it. We want it that worship should be for Allah alone. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَأَن تَكُونَ كَلِمَتُهُ هِيَ الْعُلْيَا. We want it to be that it is the expression, the statements of Allah that is what? Manifest. So if we want the statements of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be manifest, we want the ahadith as-sahihah to be manifest. We want the rulings of the Quran to be manifest. If somebody says something and they say this is a hadith, it contradicts, you accept the hadith. Why? It is not your own statement that you want to be manifest and propagated. No, it is the statements of the Prophet that you want. If it is the statement of the Prophet you want to propagate, then you will accept it when it is shown to you and it contradicts your own view. You will accept it. Why? That is hadith, that is hujjah. The hujjah is not in your own statements. The hujjah is in the Quran and the Sunnah and Ijma'. So if you have a statement that contradicts a clear verse, a clear hadith, or even in those ahadith, ikhwan, Al-Imam al-Shafi'i in Ar-Risala, he mentioned a kind of a khilaf, al-khilafu al-muhtamal, a difference of opinion that is feasible. You are interpreting one single hadith. You explain it to the right, they explain it to the left. We gave us one example, the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhuma, that the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam, he came to the masjid on the day of, he came to the musalla on the day of Eid. He did not start with khutbah, he did not start with anything, no nafila. He just went on and then he led the salah. Al-Imam Shafi said that the reason why he did like that is that he's the Imam. That ruling is not applicable to the rest of us. But others amongst the scholars say no, it is applicable to all of us. You see, what are they explaining? One single hadith. So we start looking for what the ulama call qara'i, hadith qarina. Things that indicate that one view is weak compared to another view. In this case, like what? The hadith that the Prophet came alayhi salatu wasalam to the musalla, وَلَمْ يَتَنَفَّلْ بِشَيْءٍ, and he did not make tanafful, he did not make nafila in any way. It was reported by Abdullah ibn Abbas, it was reported by Abdullah ibn Umar, it was reported by Abu Sa'id al-Khudri. Abdullah ibn Abbas, radiallahu anhu, if he came to the Eid and he saw people praying nafila, he used to tell them to sit down. And you know that he's the one who reported that thing from the Prophet. Is his understanding preferable to me, or the understanding of Al-Imam Shafi'i who came 150 years later? Which one should we prefer? Ibn Abbas, who was a witness. And that's why the scholars say that Ar-Rawi adra bima rawa. The one who reports a hadith, he has a better understanding of what he is reporting. So we pick the understanding of Ibn Abbas regarding that hadith. The same thing Ibn Umar. If he saw anyone making nafila on the day of Eid, before Salatul Eid, Ibn Umar would say, sit down, sit down, sit down. So that view of Ibn Abbas and Ibn Umar radiallahu anhum is more preferable regarding that hadith than that understanding from Al-Imam Shafi'i. This is a qarina nurajjihu biha al-qawl. It's an indicator by which we give preference to a particular view over another view. Is this clear? It is not every time that there's a clear-cut hadith to show that the other person is upon an error. It's not every time. Sometimes the two of them are explaining one single hadith, but they have just differed in how they understood the hadith. The hadith is sahih. The both of them agree that the hadith is sahih. The problem is around fiqhul hadith. So regarding fiqhul hadith, we begin to bring murajjihat. And these murajjihat, all the scholars agree to the bulk of them, if not all of them. So it is these murajjihat that will be bringing one after the other to say, no, this one is a stronger view, this one is a weaker view. But don't forget, when we make that, there is no insult inside it. There is no abuse inside it. There is no, we should not insult. That is the issue we are talking about. If you don't insult inside it, you are making An-Naseehah. If you insult inside it, you are joining At-Tibyān with your Nāsir. If you didn't even correct the opinion, you are just abusing the man. What are you doing? At-Tibyān. You are just insulting him. You are just abusing him. You have not corrected anything. You have not expressed knowledge. You have not brought knowledge. You are just talking. May Allah protect us. In the paragraph that followed, Ibn Rajab said, Rahimahullah, وَكُلُّهُمْ, all the scholars, مُعْتَرِفُونَ, they all acknowledge the fact that بِأَنَّ الْإِحَاطَةَ بِالْعِلْمِ كُلِّهِ, that a person, one single person has إِحَاطَةَ بِالْعِلْمِ كُلِّهِ, he has every knowledge of everything. مِنْ غَيْرِ شُذُوذِ شَيْءٍ مِنْهُ, without having strange views. Only you, all your views are correct. لَيْسَ هُوَ مَرْتَبَةَ أَحَدٍ مِّنْهُمْ. It is not the position of anyone amongst them. The scholars all acknowledge that no one amongst us has knowledge of everything to the extent that all his opinions are correct. Nobody. All his opinions are correct. No one single scholar is like that. Mention anybody. Mention anyone. Abu Khadija mentioned anyone. Mention any scholar. Anybody. Just mention one. Abu Ali Taqab. Mention any scholar. Illa tajidu indahu shuzuz shay'in or shuzuz shay'in min al-ilm. You find him having a strange view in knowledge. Maybe I have to mention somebody. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. He does not have a strange view in knowledge. Let me tell you one of his strange views. And Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal believes that if you want to marry a woman, Abu Khadija, may Allah grant you a righteous, pious, and suitable wife very soon. That you have a right to look at everything in the woman without a cloth on her. Ikhwa, did you hear what I said? Hey, Bontimawi. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal has that view. And he took that view while explaining a hadith. That if you want to marry a woman, you can see everything in her. Everything, I mean everything. He took it from a hadith. Don't forget that we said that all of them, they want kalimatullahi ilahiyya al-uliyya. They want hujjah to be established. But they may be wrong in an understanding of the hadith. Another thing in the religion we should have, that thing is an error. Other scholars will not talk about it. He has a view that you want to marry a woman, you can see everything in her, everything. Rahimahullah. Imam Ahli Sunnati wal Jama'ah. He says that the Prophet said alayhi salatu wasalam, إذا خطب أحدكم امرأة إن استطاع أن يرى منها ما يدعوه إلى نكاحها فليفعل. When you are making khitbah to a sister, you are searching for her. Hey, Abu, I like the sister. Oh, Mufti, please, I like that sister. You are looking, checking. If you can do it. أن يرى منها. If he can see from her ما يدعوه إلى نكاح. Ma is sigatul umum. Anything that can make you like to marry her, let him do it. So he starts racing, he starts running, trying to look for something. She shows you her face and her hand. Say, face and hand. Nika. From those who said that view too was Al-Imam Ibn Hazm al-Andalus. This is true. Very strange. Al-Imam Abu-Raūf, rahimahullah, he has a view that a woman can leave salat. Never die in 11 days. So there are opinions. Abu Thawr was very learned. He was in the level of Al-Imam al-Tabari. Just mention any scholar, anybody, except that he has a view that this view will not be taken from. Abdullah ibn Abbas has infiradat. There's a book on infiradat to Abdullah ibn Abbas. I have it. Views that Ibn Abbas was alone in. He has that view alone. So don't think that among the scholars, that even among the companions. Talha ibn Ubaydillah, he believed that ice does not break your fast. Ice. So in Ramadan, you can pick ice and put it in your mouth. You can swallow ice. So nobody has an half of knowledge. He knows everything. I don't have mistake. And Imam al-Bukhari, let us talk about him. Rahimahullah. He has a book called Tariq al-Kabir. Al-Imam Muhammad ibn Idris Abu Hatim al-Razi, he wrote a book he titled Akhfa al-Bukhari. What does it mean? The mistakes of who? Al-Bukhari. في كتابه التاريخ. In his book Tariq al-Kabir. He was mentioning the mistakes of Al-Bukhari in that book. In Tariq al-Kabir. Not his mistakes in Sahih Bukhari or in Tariq al-Kabir. A whole book. I have seen the book. I had read a part of the book. I was afraid to continue to read it. I left it. I also see in the market, but I don't buy it. I'm afraid. Bukhari, that is the name of the book. Mistakes of Bukhari. Al-Imam Malik rahimahullah. Al-Imam Daraqutni has an entire book about him. You know the title of it? Al-Ahadith or Khulifa Fiha Malik. The narrations that Al-Imam Malik, see adab now. It's a Khulifa Malik. Malik was contradicted. It was Malik who was wrong in those hadiths. He didn't want to say Khalafa Malikun fiha an-nas. Instead, he put it the other way around. As if it was the people contradicting Malik, not Malik contradicting. But it was the ahadith where Malik was erring because of his contradiction of many others who will report it like this. Malik will report it like this. Malik was in error. Rahimahullah, Imam Dar. Like saying the mistakes of Malik. Daraqutni compiled a book on it. Hi. One brother brought me a book now. I just was able to look at the Muqaddimah. Awhamul Muhaddithin al-Siqat. The errors of the reliable scholars of Hadith. Not generally reliable, the A'imma. Like Al-Imam Sufyan ibn Uyaynah, Sufyan al-Thawri, Yahya ibn Sa'id al-Qattan. Their own mistakes. It's in 13 volumes. There is nobody that is free from mistake. Al-Imam Malik rahimahullah said, وَمَنْ ذَا الَّذِي لَا يُخْطِئُ. Ta'ala Nāsir is a mistake. Who? Who is it? There is nobody. Do not make mistake, there is nobody. Yorubas will say, Alemai, Koyomami. What do they mean? If they say, oh, if you must walk, your head must shake. Because you're a human being. There's nobody that is ma'soom. Everybody, you have your mistakes. All the scholars, they know that. Ibn Rajab said, rahimahullah, وكلهم معترفون بأن الإحاطة بالعلم كله من غير شذوذ شيء منه ليس هو مرتبة أحد منهم. All the scholars acknowledge that encompassing the entirety of knowledge من غير شذوذ, without having any strange view, ليس هو مرتبة أحد منهم. It is not, nobody is in that level. Abu Khadija, nobody is in that level. Nobody is in the level they are fine. Anything he says, mashallah, not lie. Nobody. Wallahi, nobody. وَلَا ادَّعَاهُ أَحَدٌ مِنَ الْمُتَقَدِّمِينَ وَلَا مِنَ الْمُتَأَخِّرِينَ. And nobody claimed it amongst the earlier scholars. وَلَا مِنَ الْمُتَأَخِّرِينَ. Or in the later times amongst the scholars. Nobody claimed that me, there is nothing I don't know, and all my views are correct. Huh? Should we start checking your quiz now? You will see your mistakes. That Shaykh I went to visit last year in October, he has a book, Tanbihul Hajj, Bima Waqa'a min al-akhta' fi kutub al-amajid. Tanbihul Hajj, Bima Waqa'a min al-akhta'. He wants to remind everybody, wake us all up regarding the mistakes in the books of the scholars. What does that mean? If you mention all the books, he wants to be mentioning the mistakes in all the books. In the Mujam of Al-Imam Al-Tabarani, Al-Kabir, Al-Awsat, and Al-Saghir, he mentioned the mistakes. In Mustadrak Hakim, he mentioned the mistakes. In Al-Jaf wa Ta'dil by Ibn Abi Hatim al-Razi, he mentioned the mistakes inside it. Any book you see amongst the early Muslims that you are reading today, mistakes go and know you will suffer. Here, page 1, the Shaykh said so. This statement is a mistake. This is the evidence why it's a mistake. The correct one occurs in so place. I have it up to 6 volumes. I have Tanbihul Hajj up to 6 volumes. But he told me that it is now up to 15 volumes. Mistakes of past scholars. So tell me who does not have a mistake. Okay, he that is compiling those 15 volumes, does not have mistake. He does not have mistakes, though. He has. He has. So nobody claimed وَلَا ادَّعَاهُ أَحَدٌ مِنَ الْمُتَقَدِّمِينَ وَلَا مِنَ الْمُتَأَخِّرِينَ. Nobody amongst the earlier or the later scholars claimed that all the knowledge is with me, all my positions are correct. He said, Rahimahullah, فَلِهَذَا كَانَ أَئِمَّةُ السَّلَفِ. He said, because of all these, the scholars amongst the Salaf, al-majma'u ala ilmihim, those amongst the Salaf whose knowledge we all agree that they are knowledgeable, وَفَضْلِهِمْ, we all agree that they are people of honor. يَقْبَلُونَ الْحَقَّ مِمَّنْ أَوْرَدَهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. The Salaf, they will accept the truth from anybody who brings that truth to them. يَقْبَلُونَ الْحَقَّ, they will receive that hujjah from you. If you bring it to them, they will take it. وَإِنْ كَانَ صَغِيرًا, even if it be a little young boy that brings, say, Shaykh, there is one thing, they will accept it. وَيُوصُونَ أَصْحَابَهُمْ, and they give wasiyah, they give advice to their companions and their students. وَأَتْبَاعَهُمْ, and those who follow them. بِقَبُولِ الْحَقِّ إِذَا ظَهَرَ فِي غَيْرِ قَوْلِهِمْ, they will tell you, accept the truth. So if it becomes apparent from the statement of another scholar, Malik will say to you, Rahimahullah, for example, if you know that Shafi'i said something stronger than what I said, take his own, leave my own. All of them were saying that what you should take is hujjah, not my own statement. Once you hear that this is strictly across statement, leave my own, take that hadith. Why? They all knew that they can make mistakes. They all knew that they did not see everything. Oh, Rita, oh, Mata, oh, Bota, oh, Kaka. And there are many things like that in the history of Islam. Al-Imam Ibn Hazm, rahimahullah, he did not know Al-Imam Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah. Ibn Majah and Tirmidhi, Ibn Hazm. Ibn Hazm was very knowledgeable. He didn't know when you say Tirmidhi, he said, who is that? Abu Kharija, Tirmidhi. If you tell Ibn Hazm, you know Tirmidhi, Talun Jabal. Abu Isa, Muhammad ibn Isa, At-Tibyān. I don't think I know him. Sunan ibn Majah, he didn't know it. Not him alone. Many scholars were like that. Many scholars were like that. So nobody saw everything. So they will always say to their students, if the truth became clear to you, accept it. Al-Imam Malik was the one who came to mind regarding this matter. In a book we all read, Sifat Salat Nabi, alayhi salatu. I hope that one day we will read the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salat. There are a lot of learning, knowledge inside the Muqaddimah of Sifat Salat Nabi by Imam Al-Albani. He has a narration from Imam Malik. That report originally occurs in the Muqaddimah of Al-Jarh wa Ta'dil by Imam Ibn Abi Hatim al-Razi. It also occurs in Sunan al-Kubra by Imam al-Bayhaqi rahimahullah. It says that Qala Ibn Wahab was that well-known student of Imam Malik, Abdullah ibn Wahab al-Misri rahimahullah. He says, سَمِعْتُ مَالِكًا سُئِلَ عَنْ تَخْلِيلِ أَصَابِعِ الرِّجْلَيْنِ فِي الْوُضُوءِ. I heard Imam Malik سُئِلَ عَنْ تَخْلِيلِ أَصَابِعِ الرِّجْلَيْنِ. He was asked about placing your hands in between the fingers of your legs when you are making wudu. Between your toe, the big toe and the next one, put your hand there, rub it. Between the next, rub it. Between the toes of your legs, yes. Al-Imam Malik was asked about it. Do you know what, do you remember, you know what I'm talking about? Taqleel al-Asabi. Placing your hands in between the toes of your finger. In this case, Asabi al-Rijlayn. The fingers of your two legs. We understand it between our hands. When we wash our hands, we put our fingers in between us. The same thing when you are washing your legs. Put your fingers in between. But let me say that the finger you put in between is your finger, your small finger. You'll be putting it in between. I have seen our father sooner le walking with you. I have watched some affairs of Sunnah. You see them, they make wudu, and they are not making taqleel al-asad. Yani asad al-rijlayn. Because they don't know it, or they knew it, they forgot. He starts giving excuses. But the point still remains that nobody has a full knowledge of everything. He does not have a view that he holds that is wrong. There is nobody. Abdullah ibn Wahab al-Misri said, rahimahullah, سَمِعْتُ مَالِكًا سُئِلَ عَنْ تَخْلِيلِ أَصَابِعِ الرِّجْلَيْنِ فِي الْوُضُوءِ. I heard Imam Malik being asked about placing the fingers in between the fingers of the legs during wudu. فقال, Malik said, rahimahullah, Malik ibn Anas, Abu Abdullah al-Madani, Imam Dar al-Hijrah, he said, rahimahullah, لَيْسَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. That is not compulsory upon the people. They don't have any, there is no doing that. لَيْسَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. That is not something that people have to do. They don't have to do that. But Abdullah ibn Wahab said, فَتَرَكْتُهُ. I asked him in the public, hey, how about rubbing the fingers in between the fingers of the leg? He said, لَيْسَ ذَلِكَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. That is not something that people have to do. He said, فَتَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى خَفَّ النَّاسِ. تَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى خَفَّ النَّاسِ. I left him until many of the people had gone. What is he trying to do? Adab. In our own times, it is when the people are there we want to say, a whole Imam Malik, you didn't know that the Taqleel al-Asad is Sunnah. It's in the hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas, it's in the hadith of Mustawrid ibn Shaddad, and in fact, a whole Imam Malik, you don't know it. The taraktuhu I left. Said there's no dalil in that, no sunnah, nothing. Says فَتَرَكْتُهُ حَتَّى خَفَّ النَّاسِ. I left him until people reduced, some people went away. فَقُلْتُ لَهُ. So I went to him and said, Imam, إِنَّنَا فِي ذَلِكَ سُنَّةٌ. We have a sunnah regarding that. We have a hadith regarding that question that I asked. فَقَالَ مَا هِيَ Malik said, what is that hadith? Who? I said to Malik, who is this person? Abdullah ibn Wahab Abu Abdullah. He has a copy of Muwatta. Omakeu Malik in Abdullah ibn Wahab. He said, Rahimahullah, حدثنا الليث بن سعد وابن لهيئة وعمرو بن الحارث. These people that I have mentioned reported to me, An Yazid ibn Amr al-Ma'afir, from Yazid, is giving him isnad. Malik knows those people that he is mentioning. It's like saying it occurs in Bukhari. So instead of saying it occurs in Bukhari, you mention those who reported that hadith. Because the hadith has two parts, the isnad and the matn. These days, people, when they talk about ahadith, they are talking about the mutun alone, so they can say what they like. And that's why I want to be here, when you hear them talking about ahadith, they say, oh, I know hadith, you can hadith. Hadith. Say hadith in it. Will you accept if somebody calls Zahaba, he calls it Sahaba? Say Yugba, Zahaba, ni Sahaba. Kò ní gbàgbẹ́. Bó fẹ́ ká gba hadith ní hadith, fúradìsì kan, ara ìfẹ́nu tẹ́ḿbẹ́lẹ́ ọ̀rọ̀ àlẹ́bí. Fúradìsì kan, hadith kan tí mo rí bí kékeré kankan. Tó bá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ olórin yóò ní àpá oní hikma àgbà kan sọ pé ló máa sọ. Ìgbà tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ àlẹ́bí sallallahu alaihi wasallam hadith. Al-Imam Malik asked Abdullah ibn Wahab, what is that sunnah you have? قلت حدثنا الليث بن سعد وابن لهيئة وعمرو بن الحارث عن يزيد بن عمرو المعافري عن أبي عبد-الرحمن الحبلي عن المستورد بن شداد الفهري القرشي قال, this companion Mustawrid ibn Shaddad al-Fihri radiyallahu anhu, he said, رأيت رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم, I saw the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, يدلك بخنصره, he is making a dal بخنصره, with his small finger, ما بين أصابع رجليه, in between the fingers of his two legs. I saw the Prophet making a dunk. He said, I saw the Prophet. He had making a dunk. Using his finger. Alayhi salam. Ma bayna asabi' rijlayn, in between the feet of his legs. He said that to Malik. فقال الإمام مالك then said, إن هذا الحديث حسن. This hadith is Hasan. Ikhwa, this is one evidence. Some people say the first person to say hadith is Hasan is Al-Imam Tirmidhi. Malik said it. That this hadith is Hasan, meaning that يحسن الاستدلال. It is good enough for evidence. وَمَا سَمِعْتُ بِهِ قَطُّ إِلَّا السَّاعَةِ. Malik said, I had never heard that hadith before. Until this moment, it's not wrong to say you don't know something. Those who are more knowledgeable than you, they have said that they don't know before. Said, مَا سَمِعْتُ Malik said, مَا سَمِعْتُ بِهِ قَطُّ إِلَّا السَّاعَةِ. I had never heard this hadith except now. Abdullah ibn Wahab said, ثُمَّ سَمِعْتُهُ بَعْدَ ذَلِكَ. After that time, I heard Malik يُسْأَلُ, whenever he was asked about the issue, فَيَعْمُرُ بِتَخْلِيلِ الْأَصَابِ. He will tell people, make تَخْلِيلِ الْأَصَابِ. You see the Naseehah of Abdullah ibn Wahab. You see the Qabul of Imam Malik. You see the adab of Abdullah ibn Wahab. He was full of adab in what he did, rahimahullah. There are many others I had thought that we'd be able to look at here. We have a little time. Can we quickly read through another narration like this? There are many others. Something similar happened to Al-Imam al-Bukhari. Something similar happened to Al-Imam al-Darqutni between himself and Al-Imam Abu Bakr al-Ambari. It was common amongst the early Muslims that one big scholar will say something, the other will say, Shaykh, this statement, look at it like this. But let us read this one because it's very interesting. This one occurs in Ahkam al-Quran by Imam Ibn al-Arabi al-Maliki rahimahullah in his book Ahkam al-Quran. He said, أخبرني محمد بن قاسم العثماني غير مرة. Al-Imam Ibn al-Arabi that we mentioned, al-Maliki, do we know his name? Here, it's not written here that I'm reading. But it occurs to me. Do you know his name? Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Ibn al-Arabi is who? Muhammad ibn, just like the name of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet is what? Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Go. The same way Ibn al-Arabi al-Maliki. Hold it like that. His name is Muhammad ibn Abdullah al-Maliki. He said, أخبرني محمد بن قاسم العثماني غير مرة. Said this Imam told me a number of times, more than once. He said, وصلت الفسطاط مرة. Once I came to Fustat. This is one of the cities in ancient Syria. فجئت فجلس الشيخ. He said, فجئت مجلس الشيخ أبي الفضل الجوهري. When I came to Fustat, جئت مجلس الشيخ أبي الفضل الجوهري. I came to the halqa of Abu al-Fadl al-Jawhari. Àwọn ẹlẹ́gbẹ́ sọ pé Salafi ẹ̀ ṣe halqa. Salafi ló halqa ló tan Islam ká. Halqa ni wọ́n máa ń ṣe. Àfa ò ní máa ń lé sí ọmọ àgbàdì àwọn. Wọ́n pé àfa àjẹgbẹ́lẹ̀ kò sínú. So he said, I came to the sitting of Shaykh Abu al-Fadl al-Jawhari. وحضرت كلامه على الناس. So I went to be present in where he addressed the people. فكان مما قال في أول مجلس جلست إليه. The first sitting that I attended that he did. مما قال في أول مجلس جلست إليه. From the first things he said in the first gathering, from the things that he said in the first gathering that I sat with him, my own first gathering, from the things he said in that gathering was that إن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم طلق وظاهر وعالى. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم divorced a wife عليه الصلاة والسلام. وظاهر, he made zihar. Did the Prophet make zihar? The Prophet did not make zihar. He made talaq and ila. Ila is that he left his wife for some time, about a month. You remember that hadith of Aisha? When he came back on the 29th day, they asked him, has it completed 1 month? What he did is called what? Ila. Then he made talaq. That hadith of Umar. طلق النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حفصته ثم رجعها. It occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud and it is Sahih. So he made talaq and he made what? Ila. وأما الزِّهَارِ, Allah has condemned zihar in the Quran. What did he call that code? منكر من القول والزور. And قد سمع الله. Allah condemned it. In fact, it has kafara before you go back to that one. قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها وتشتكي إلى الله والله يسمع تحاوركم. All those places. So Allah condemns zihar. What does zihar mean? A man tells his wife, your back is like the back of my mother. So he will not near her again. The Prophet did not make zihar. But on that day when I came, the Shaykh said, Rahimahullah, أن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم طلق وظاهر وآلى. The Prophet made talaq, he made zihar, he made ilah. فلما خرج, when the Shaykh went out, تبعته حتى بلغت معه إلى منزله في جماعته. I followed Shaykh حتى بلغت معه, until I reached the house together with him في جماعته, in a group of people. I followed Shaykh to his house, but there were people too who followed us. فجلس معنا في الدهليز. The Shaykh sat with us at the dihliz. You know where the dihliz is? Go. The place you enter before you get into a house, like an ante. It's called a dihliz. There's a house. It has a place where you can sit down before you get fully into the house. It is called a dihliz. So when we came, Shaykh sat down with us. All of us sat down together with Shaykh. وَعَرَّفَهُمْ أَمْرِي. So he told them about me, I had come. فإنه رأى إشارة الغربة ولم يعرف الشخص قبل ذلك في الواردين عليه. He did not know who was that. He had not seen me before. So when he saw me in his company together with his student getting to his belief all the way from the masjid, he said, hey, who is this? That shows some emotional intelligence. You just came to our house just like that. And this person appears to be a strange person. There was one of the scholars that happened to me about. It was in Kano at that time, in 2001. He finished the class, I followed him to his house. When he wanted to enter his house, he looked back, he saw me. He said, what do you want? I said, I want to see you. I have questions for you. He said, me? I said, yes. He kept quiet. He said, I'm tired now. Can you come at another time? I said, no problem. I went. That was the last time I saw him before he died. So when he saw this is a stranger, the Shaykh said, Aroka Gariba. I'm thinking that you are a stranger. Hallaka min kalamin. Do you have something you like to say? Kultuna. I said, yes, I have something to say. Those other students who were sitting down with him, he said to them, Afriju lahu an kalamihi. Afriju lahu. Go away for him. Give him space to be able to say what he wants to say. Faqamu. So they all stood up and they went away. وَبَقَيْتُ وَحْدِي مَعَهُ. So it remained myself alone with him. فَقُلْتُ لَهُ. So I said to the Shaykh, حَضَرْتُ الْمَجْلِسَ الْيَوْمِ مُتَبَرِّكًا بِكَ. I came to the lesson today, to the halqa today. مُتَبَرِّكًا. I was seeking blessings that I would gain from your knowledge. Today is my first day in your lesson, in your halqa. وَسَمِعْتُكَ تَقُولُ. And I heard you saying, Ala Rasulullah. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made ilah wa sadaqt. And that is correct. وَطَلَّقَ Rasulullah. You said the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made talaq wa sadaqt. And that is correct too. وَقُلْتَ ظَاهَرَ Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. You also said that the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made zihar. وَهَذَا لَمْ يَكُنْ. This one did not happen. The Prophet did not make zihar. وَلَا يَصِحُ أَنْ يَكُونَ. And it is not proper that it ever happens. لِأَنَّ الزِّهَارِ مُنْكَرٌ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ وَالزُّورِ. Because zihar is مُنْكَرٌ مِنَ الْقَوْلِ. For you to tell a woman that your back is like the back of my mother, it's munkar. It's a useless, bad statement. Wazur, it is a lie, an affirmed lie. So the Prophet cannot say that. The Prophet did not make zihar. But when I was in your halqa, I heard you saying it. The Prophet made talaq. Yes, he made talaq. The Prophet made ilah. Yes, he made ilah. But for Zihar, the Prophet did not do it. وَلَا يَصِحُ لَا يَصِحُ أَن يَقُولُ. It is not proper that the Prophet will do that. Why? لأن الظهار منكر. Because zihar is something that is obnoxious. من القول, in terms of statements. وزورة, it is also an absolute lie. وذلك لا يجوز أن يقع من النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. It is not permissible that that kind of a thing happens from the Prophet عليه الصلاة والسلام. فضمني إلى نفسه. This Shaykh that I was talking to, ضمني إلى نفسه. He grabbed me to himself. وَقَبَّلَ رَأْسِي. He kissed my forehead. وَقَالَ لِي. He said to me, أَنَا تَائِبٌ مِنْ ذَلِكَ. I repent from that statement that I had made. جَزَاكَ اللَّهُ عَنِّي مِنْ مُعَلِّمٍ خَيْرًا. May Allah reward you goodness for being a teacher of me. ثم انقلبت عنه. Thereupon I stood up, I went away. وبكرت إلى مجلسه في اليوم الثاني. On the second day, I quickly went to the masjid. If it were some of us in our time, it is in that masjid that they tell that Shaykh, there is one issue there. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everybody will say wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. There is one error that Shaykh made that I said that because we have to make Nāsir. Is that not how we will do our own? Or we go to Facebook. Breaking news. Shaykh said the Prophet made zihar. And the Prophet did not make zihar. They started making adillah. They will now forward it to him for your information. Wallahi, I reckon it is At-Tibyān. It is not An-Naseehah. It is not from Adam to do that. Look at Abdullah ibn Wahab. What did he do? Look at this Imām. What did he do? The intention is not to prove any points to anybody. The intention is to get the matter right. And sometimes if you go and meet somebody, you think that 1 + 1 is equal to 2. He wants to prove to you that he left, say, welcome. You have time to sit there and say, yes, right. You say that 1 + 1 is equal to 2. For me, I was saying that 1 + 1 is equal to 11 because I was talking about this, it starts to prove the point. It starts bringing out references. Oh yeah, it will happen like that. It is possible that the Shaykh was right if it is an another matter, not this one. In this one, the Shaykh was wrong. If it were in another matter, you say, what you think that I was wrong, I am right. Do you have time? Can I go here do anything? We can sit down now. You have time? Yes, I have time. Oh yeah. 1 a.m. you are still there. Yes. I remember a learned person, something happened like that. Up to 2:30 a.m. we were still resolving the matter. If you want to give Nāsir, you must be ready to sacrifice for it. So you'll be patient over that. You'll be mannerly in it. It will be easy for Shaykh to accept. Because he has his own shaitan with him too. Or you think he's ma'soom? He doesn't have his jinn associate telling him not to accept. He has so many things to do against him. Ibn Abbas will say, Shaitan pursues me more than you. Because he knows that if he makes me to fall, many other people will fall. Abdullah ibn Abbas used to say that. So it is possible the Shaitan behind your Shaykh is more than your own. That will tell him, Mabao, don't accept. Who is he to correct you? May Allah protect us. Let us quickly read what happened after that time. You will know that the student was just making Nāsīhah. He was not making ta'lim. And the Shaykh accepted easily. This is Nāsīhah. Rahimahullah. I'll read fast and try to be fast. So I turned away from him and I went away. وَبَكَرْتُ إِلَى مَجْلِسِهِ فِي الْيَوْمِ الثَّالِثِ. I was quick to get to his sitting on the following day. فَأَلْفَيْتُهُ قَدْ سَبَقَنِي إِلَى الْجَامِ. I found him that he had been in the Masjid al-Jami before me. وَجَلَسَ عَلَى الْمِنْبَرِ. He sat on his seat on the raised platform. فَلَمَّا دَخَلْتُ مِنْ بَابِ الْجَمْعِ وَرَائِي. When I came in from the door, back door, if it were Shabbat today, they would come from the front door. Let's shake the scene. After I corrected him yesterday. In fact, to be on Facebook, one of the biggest favors of Allah upon me is that I was in the garden of Shaykh yesterday. He said one thing, and I corrected him. Help me thank Allah for this favor of Allah. That is what he will say. He corrected Shaykh. As for me, I went to enter from the back door. وَنَادَى بِأَعْلَى صَوْتِهِ. The Shaykh called out to me in the topmost of his voice, مَرْحَبًا بِمُعَلِّمِي وَأَفْصِحُوا لِمُعَلِّمِي. My teacher, welcome. أَفْصِحُوا لِمُعَلِّمِي. Create space for my teacher. فَتَطَوَّلَتِ الْعَنَاقُ إِلَيَّ. The next began to turn towards me. You know people say, the next began to look in my direction. He said, Rahimahullah, وَحَدَّقَتِ الْأَبْصَارِ نَحْوَيْ. All eyes began to come in my direction. وَتَبَادَرَ النَّاسُ إِلَيَّ. And people began to rush in my direction. يَرْفَعُونَنِي عَلَى الْأَيْدِ. They were holding my hands. They want to carry me. They carried me on their hands. وَيَتَدَافَعُونَنِي. Everybody carried pushing me. حَتَّى بَلَغْتُ الْمِنْبَرِ. Till I reached where the Shaykh was sitting. وَأَنَا لِعِبَرِ الْحَيَاةِ. And for me, because I was so shy, لا أعرف في أي بقعة أنا من الأرض. I did not know during that occasion في أي بقعة أنا من الأرض. Where on earth was I? I don't know. I was shy. Humility has covered me. Shaykh subsequently why they laugh. Everybody was sitting down. They came to bring me Muallim al-Shaykh. Afsihu lahu. Marhaban bi Muallim. Bring him here. Come to the Imām. Everybody started giving me space. It says, وَالْجَامِعُ غَاسٌ لِأَهْلِهِ. On that day, the masjid was filled up with the people. Rahimahumullah. وأسال الحياء بدني عرقا. My shyness was making sweat to come out of all my body. You know it is sweat. وأقبل الشيخ على الخلق. The Shaykh turned to the rest of the people فقال لهم and said to them, أنا معلمكم وهذا معلمي. I am your Shaykh, but this is my Shaykh. لما كان بالأمس قلت له. During the lessons yesterday, I had said to you, على رسول الله. The Messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام made ilah وطلق. The first Messenger عليه الصلاة والسلام made talaq وظاهر. The Prophet صلى الله عليه وسلم made bihar. فما كان أحد منكم فكه عني ولا رد عني. No one of you quickly understood what I meant. No one of you came to correct me that Shaykh, this thing is wrong. فَاتَّبَعَنِي إِلَى مَنْزِلِي. But this young man followed me to my house. وَقَالَ لِي كَذَا وَكَذَا. And he said so and so to me. وَأَعَادَ مَا جَرَى بَيْنِي وَبَيْنَهُ. The Shah said that Shaykh repeated what had happened between the two of them. وَأَنَا when he did that. Ana ta'ibun, the Shaykh was saying that, wa ana, as for me, ana ta'ibun an qawli bil ams. I'm repenting away from that statement I made yesterday. Wa rajabun anhu ila al-haq. I am dropping it and turning up into the position of the truth. فَمَنْ سَمِعَهُ مِمَّنْ حَضَرَ. Anyone who heard what I had said from those who were present yesterday. فَلَا يُعَوِّلُ عَلَيْهِ. Don't depend on what I had said. وَمَنْ غَابَ. Whoever was not present, whoever perhaps was not present today, فَلْيُبَلِّغْهُ مَنْ حَضَرَ. Let him inform those who were present. You are present today, you know this new opinion. And you know somebody who did not come today, but he was there yesterday. Tell him. فَجَزَاهُ اللَّهُ خَيْرًا. This is my new Shaykh. I beg Allah to reward you with goodness. وَجَعَلَ يَحْفِظُ فِي الدُّعَى. The Shaykh went on making dua. وَالْخَلْقُ يُؤَمِّنُونَ. The rest of the people are making what? Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. May Allah protect all of us. You will see the Naseehah of the young man and his adab. You will also see the qabul of the Shaykh and his own adab. These are our salaf. There are many examples like this. Many like this. So there will not be trouble of who said it, who was the truth. And then it will not allow shaitan to come in the matter. The matter was resolved honorably. If even amongst the scholars we can resolve matters like this, will it not be beneficial? One learned person said once, "Alo Bapale." Yesterday, Onikal Koti Abani Koti Abani. The Shaykh yesterday he said so. Maybe we should look at this matter again. I think that hadith is not sahih. You think so? Okay, let's look at it. You start checking. Until you can say that hadith is sahih. The two of you would have gained. The students would have known that their position was wrong. The teacher would gain more conviction that his position was correct. And if it was the other way around, the teacher would say, I was really wrong. I'll mention it in class tomorrow, inshallah. Or that I am correct. What I said was right. There are many examples like that. Sometimes people don't ask me. Many times I'll say, this is what is in my mind now. If I find something else, I will tell us. People will not ask me again. Should I give us examples? What is the meaning of mukhadram? The mukhadramun are those adrak al-jahiliya wa aslama wa mata al-islam. A person meets jahiliya, he was alive during jahiliya, he accepted Islam and died upon Islam. But there's a branch of it we usually talk about. That is those who were alive during Jahiliyyah. They accepted Islam during the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad. And they died afterwards when the Prophet had died. Okay. How about those who met Jahiliyyah? They did not accept Islam when the Prophet was alive. But when the Prophet died, they accepted Islam. Are they from Muhadramun too because they had met Jahiliyyah? Yes. I think that was the answer that I gave. Who remembers this question? It was about Nufay al-Madani, Abdur-Raūf, the student of Abu Hurairah. We remember that hadith. Did I remind us? Yabna Adam, Maridtu, Walam ta'udni. You remember this hadith now? We read the hadith in Al-Adab al-Mufrad. I was ill and you didn't come to visit me. That hadith came from the riwayah of Abdur-Raūf. Abdur-Raūf was Nufay al-Madani. Adrak al-Jahiliyyah wa aslama ba'da wafati Rasul. He was there in the time of Jahiliyyah, but he died after the death of the Prophet Muhammad. That was when he now accepted Islam. So who are the Muhadramun? Those who accepted Islam during the lifetime of the Prophet, or it includes even though they accept Islam after the life of the Prophet, as long as they had been alive in the time of Jahiliyyah. Do we understand this? It covers the two of them. If you go back to the book Al-Mukhadram by Imām Muslim himself, he specifically mentioned Abdur-Raūf, Nufay and Madani as from the Mukhadram. So it happens a lot. I don't joke with it. Once you ask me, I say, I will find out. I will find out. If you ask me again, I will tell you. If you don't ask me again, I will keep it till another day that I remember to tell you like this one. If I don't remember, fine. If I remember, I will tell you. But you need to ask, have you found out? If I have not found out, I have not remembered to find out. Oh, I have found out. This is what I have come across. That is how knowledge is. Because nobody has it all. Nobody knew it all. Nobody has it all. Everybody has something. Oh, I don't remember. Oh, I forgot. Oh, this. Oh, this. May Allah forgive all of us. So the manners itself that we correct ourselves, it matters a lot. It matters a lot. Not with fahashatul kalam and not with what isa'atul adab and all these. We should avoid them if it is Nāsihah that we make. But if it is ta'yid that we make, Allah will give you the reward of ta'yid. I think we can stop here for today. I will only take 2 questions today. 2. No 2 questions. We can call it today. Subhanakallah wa bihamdika. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta. Astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alaykum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.